Hey guys, I've got a little confession to make. I'm addicted to spaceship porn. So as you guys know, I have a huge indecent lust for all things space, particularly spaceships and sci-fi and space sims and whatnot. You've obviously noticed this as I've received some comments lately regarding my obsession with space sims. So I think, it's about time that I come clean and I admit my indecent addiction. Let's talk about spaceships, because I fucking love it. I love spaceships. I don't know what direction this is going to take, if it's going to be more than one video, if anyone's even going to watch it, if you guys are interested. But I want to share my interest with you and hopefully get some discussion going. So you guys probably don't know this, but I give private singing lessons in my sort of home studio thing. And I had a student the other day comment on my desktop wallpaper, which is No Man's Sky related, and he thought that the No Man's Sky sort of fighter ships look like X-Wings, and I immediately blurted out, nah man, they look like Battlestar Galactica Vipers. And on further inspection, I can see how, I can see the resemblance to both, and I kind of feel like there's certainly inspiration from the X-Wing and the Vipers. Of course, sans the X part of the X-Wing. But it got me thinking about the Vipers in particular. So I decided to compare the design of the Viper from the original series from the late 70s to the Viper from the reimagined series in the early 2000s. So let's have a look at these two bad boys. This is the Viper Mark II. It's as maneuverable as a jackrabbit and can flip end to end in 0.35 seconds. You'll have to excuse me, I couldn't resist slipping in a little quote from the reimagined series there. Anyway, so of course the top Viper here is the older design from the late 70s, and forgive me if I get any dates and whatnot wrong. I was very much not alive at this time, which is why I'm being vague by saying late 70s, so, cut me some slack for that. But what struck me first when comparing these two is that the older design looks very 80s, which I suppose it's close enough year-wise, but it's just like it looks more 80s than I expected, than I imagined in my head. I actually see a lot of similarities to the cars of the time period, which actually I see the same thing in a way with a new Viper, but we'll get to that in a second. But if you picture like a DeLorean and you give it like fins and rust it up a bit, it's that's it. It's the original Viper. And I'm not suggesting that one was inspiration for the design of the other, and I'm not even suggesting that the DeLorean is the ultimate example of what all cars look like in the 80s. I'm just saying it's kind of the poster child for 80s design in a way, at least in my opinion, so that's why I'm using it as an example. Now this is where things get really interesting, and by really interesting I mean I'm the only one on the face of the planet who finds it interesting. When you look at the redesign, the Viper at the bottom there, I actually think it has a lot more in common with 50s sensibilities. And again, if we look at car designs, you might be able to see some similarities, not just in the shape, but also in the chosen coloring. I think they've chosen to give off this 50s vibe, probably in an attempt to make it look retro, because if you haven't seen the reimagined Battlestar Galactica series from the early 2000s, the story goes that, they've got upgraded Vipers that look a lot more sci-fi and futuristic, and as far as I'm concerned, if we're being honest, kind of boring. I think they're the Mark VII Vipers, but due to the way the Cylons manipulate their network technology and whatnot, they can shut down the newer Vipers just like that. The only ships that are immune are the outdated ones, so the Viper Mark II, which is what you're seeing at the bottom there. So within the context of the reimagined story, the Viper Mark II, the more 50s reference design, It's meant to be old, it's meant to be retro. So that makes total sense. Anyway guys, believe it or not, I can go on about this for quite some time, but I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think about the No Man's Sky fighter designs. And of course, they're not the only design for the No Man's Sky fighters, they're just the ones that we've seen fairly often in promotional material. Do you think they look like X-Wings? Do you think they look like Vipers? Do you think they look like something else altogether? Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to gently caress that like button. It needs love like everything does. Taste the game, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time. Roleplay Gamer, out.